My wife is on a 72-hour lockup in a mental hospital but is genuinely not crazy. The doctors could hold her indefinitely. What do I do? I hope this doesn't get buried. I was here before in this exact same situation. 72-hour lockup is very standard to make sure nothing happens in case the patient actually is crazy. During those 72 hours you end up speaking to a lot of rehab workers and a psychologist is assigned to you to assess how normal they think you are. If they think you're okay, they'll let you out in the 72 hours. Your wife is definitely not getting out before those 72 hours. If she is as mentally healthy as you insist, then she will be released as soon as her time is up, as the psychologist will find no reason to keep her in the hospital. They're trying to force her to take drugs that are used to treat bipolars. And she's not bipolar. She's had the drug before and had a horrible reaction to it. They don't care. Why had she previously taken the drug before this? I've been a guest of the psych ward a few times myself. Twice within the same month about 2 years ago. Based on my experience, I can tell you that the hospital has no interest in keeping your wife indefinitely. Hospitals are like restaurants. There is limited seating and the faster they can get people in and out, the more money they make. When her 3 days are up, they'll release her to you in the next couple days. Just do whatever you can to make your visits with her as pleasant as possible. Bring fresh fruit or milkshakes. Whatever you think she can keep down. Bring her lip gloss. And when you bring her home, know that she's going to need time to recover from this experience. Since the major players are citing the law, I think you need to find out what the law says. This will probably get buried under the mountain of 1000 comments. But if you see this, please PM me. I worked in a psych ER. I'm familiar with the different conditions that can have a patient admitted, and the laws regarding their stay. Your wife took an overdose of Valium. You understand her reasoning. But you also have to realize that anything that might have been a suicide attempt requires at least an overnight stay. If a hospital acknowledges the risk, doesn't respond, the negligent malpractice that follows is huge. That said, a 72-hour stay is very likely not a mandatory 72 hours. It's much more probable that it's an extended observational bed, EOB, which allows a psych unit to hold a patient for up to 72 hours without admitting them. This is very commonly used for overdose patients, because most can be reassessed the following morning to truly determine if there is a psychiatric component or continued suicidality. Your wife was, in fact, involuntarily admitted. The paperwork that is readily available to you includes instructions for writing a discharge request. Ask for it. Once written, they have 24 hours, might be different by state, to evaluate and either discharge or set up a court hearing. Unless your wife is genuinely mentally ill, she'll be discharged. But like I said, full admission for a patient who denies suicidal attempts or ideation with no past psych history is very unlikely. A lawyer, in my opinion, is completely unnecessary. Just curious, why are you so sure she is not mentally ill? You say she isn't. Has she actually been visiting mental health professionals for this issue she has been having? Physical symptoms don't always have physical causes. Also, a psychiatrist told you he was just a nurse? That seems wrong. A nurse has an entirely different set of credentials to that of a psychiatrist. And I cannot imagine why a psychiatrist, a man with a medical degree and every right to be called a doctor, would say he was just a nurse. Something tells me you're not giving us the whole story. You said your wife has previously been on medication that is used to treat bipolar disorder. A lot of mood stabilizers are also used to treat epilepsy. So I understand that that could be the reason why she had previously taken it. But still, you didn't really explain that situation. So there's still the possibility that she has a psychiatric illness which was ring treated. You also mentioned she sees a psychiatrist. Why do that? If not for mental illness, psychiatrists are not run-of-the-mill counselors. Talk through your day-to-day life with. Apart from that, calling these people she is currently housed with loonies or nutcases is horribly offensive. There's so much stigma attached to mental illness and it's disgusting. My husband spent 5 days voluntarily in a mental facility like 6 months ago. I agree with others. She may be very distraught. She will be safe there. It's not like places you see in movies. I was able to visit my husband once there and he was definitely super upset and irritated. As long as she isn't suicidal, they won't keep her. Make sure she stays up at her doc appointments when she gets home. Go to TH appointments with her. Psych doc here. The 72,302 or 5,150 involuntary commitment hold is for observation. Most likely if she is of sane mind and cooperating she will be home and you can continue treatment after the 72 hours are up. Most of the time on holds like this you are just on a floor with a few other patients pretty much in a school detention environment. 3 meals a day. Few deck of cards. Board games. And some therapists to talk to you periodically. It's really not that bad. Get your butt over to the hospital to get started on the paperwork and the diagnosis. Bring evidence if you have it of her pre-existing condition. Explain to the CMD that she hasn't slept and it's causing anxiety blah blah. Stay calm while you do this. About the 72-hour hold. Because she was on Valium, a highly controlled class 3 narcotic, and a little loopy they have to hold her strictly because of protocol. It's not because she's suicidal but because they have to make sure she isn't self-medicating and messing everything up, on purpose or by accident. This way it gives her enough time to clear her system of toxins and medications while they observe her behavior. I recommend just taking it easy and not worry about it. She's in the best place she can be if she is sick. They will also observe her ability to not sleep and other medical conditions that arise. So this is a plus for your case and her diagnosis. Also, it's lupus. Take care. Everything will work out fine as long as you stay calm and rational. PM if you have questions. Wait until the 72 hours are up. You can't do. I'm sorry.